Welcome to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast that talks about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sean, and with my fellow American Rodney, we break down the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. It's quite the journey, so join us for the ride.
Frosty, the tracks are, and the pendle train is late. Everyone is stressed, borderline depressed. It's getting darker every day. Frosty, the tracks are, Swedish winter's on its way. It's the time of year all the expats fear. What if winter's here to stay?
I love it. We've got to send that into Spotify. That's a hit.
Yes.
Man.
So
I'm not liking it.
That just shows you how exciting my train ride was. And, as I looked out the train window, this has got to, I can't remember when I wrote to you and said, hey, I got this song. But I was sitting on the train looking out the window. It was late. The train was late, I think 10 or 15.
Of course.
Yeah, 10 or 15 minutes. And it was.
Now, this is to go to work, right?
Yeah. And it was just slight.
And we should say Nynäshamn is where this train starts from.
Exactly. Well, I'm actually 2 stops in. So we're Nynäshamn, but there's actually two, right? Okay. So I'm not completely or not at the very, very end. But as I'm looking out the window, train is late. It's damp, outside. I mean, nothing super, just damp. And as it's going by, I just start humming, I'm like, and I was like, I think there's a song here.
There's something to this.
Yes.
Oh, man, I am not. We're waking up and you look at Clark to see what the weather is outside, and it says, today I'll give you 4 degrees, but it feels like 0. Like, get out of here with that. Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and I'll raise you. I'll raise you 1.
I mean, we have been blessed some days with like some clearer skies, but you feel those clouds coming in and it gets dark real early and all that. Yeah. But I was going to say, we had Jeffrey on last week. Right. But you and I met up at the Östermalm Saluhall, the big food court.
That's right.
Thing, like the fancy food court.
Yes, we did.
And I remember getting home. So after that, I went out to, we had this dinner with friends kind of thing, like a late lunch, early dinner thing, feijoada, which is like a big Brazilian. You have to eat it in the middle of the afternoon. Right. Because if you eat it too late, you have weird dreams because it's like heavy food and all that stuff. Okay. But I remember getting home from that and I had this weird headache and my eyes were real like they were real tense. And I realized that sun, that entire day was so annoying. Yeah. Because this time of year, it sits so low in the sky that it's shooting into your eyeballs no matter which way you turn. Yeah. Your back is to the sun, and it's still bouncing off of building windows and going into your eyeball.
Exactly.
At full strength. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. And that does. I mean, a full day of that, and it's penetrating, all the way back to your medulla oblongata.
Yeah, I mean, if I pointed my ear toward the sun, right? So I'm all of a sudden perpendicular to the sun's rays. Right. It's still going in the corners of both eyes somehow. I'm like, what is going on here? Yeah. This is wraparound sun coverage. Yeah. And it's still only 5 degrees.
Yeah, it's cold. I mean, it's definitely cold outside. We put on different clothes today for our walk. Yesterday, we did our walk.
Did you bust out the Gucci?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm saving the Gucci kicks. But it's always that debate right around now, too. It's like, should I put on 2 jackets? Or after 15 minutes into the walk, am I going to be like wearing a jacket around my hips, doing the whole funky thing? But yesterday, I thought the hoodie I had on was going to do the trick. But a breeze came. We went through. Oh, that's the worst. And we walked through the woods, which is all shadow. It's just like all shadow.
I would say rookie mistake, but you've lived here for what, 14 years?
Yeah. But I thought, but it went right through my hoodie. The wind was just like, "Are you joking me with this?"
It was, come hard or go home.
Yeah. So today it was like double jackets. It was like double jackets, and I had mittens
Well,
on.
I've noticed that the Swedes around today, there's like the style to do one of those thinner down jackets or a vest, and then you have like a normal wool peacoat on over top.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't you just get a thicker jacket?
Just do a bigger down jacket,
Right?
Yeah.
Like next thing you know, we're going to be on 3 jackets at once. I'm like, no. My kid's got enough clothes. I'm not going more than 3 layers.
And I traded in the baseball cap today for like a stocking cap deal. And I never really liked stocking, like this knitted caps,
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know. I just never liked myself in one of those. I look like I'm ready to rob someplace, for one. I just look, I look suspect. I just look suspect.
Walking around, not speaking Swedish,
Yeah.
wearing one of these skull caps. When I wear them, normally, because I have a big ass head, so like all of the ones, they have like this part that you fold up in the front, and it goes around, but it never covers my ears.
Yeah.
And then it's riding up in the back, so I always have to unfold it all the way.
Exactly. All the way down.
It works normally. Yeah.
And for me, if I don't line up the little eye holes and the mouth, no, I don't wear it. But yeah, we are definitely into that. And then next Sunday, I believe, is when we are doing.
Oh, don't tell me. I know it's coming. I'm avoiding it like the plague.
Yeah. Well,
daylight savings time comes to a close.
Yeah, that and Halloween.
Well, Halloween's been going on for several days already. Depends what neighborhood you live in.
Plus a bonus 3 after. It's like Annandag. It's like Annandag Halloween.
I know. Dylan's school, they're like, oh, we're going to do it on November 4th. I'm like, what? Yeah. It's not even a Friday. It's a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, who comes up with this?
Poor Dylan.
But I guess I should be happy that it's not right now in the middle of October.
Right. Yeah, it's
I did see kids around town with like the little, one girl had like these little red devil horns, and another girl had like a little bat painted on her cheek and all that stuff. I'm like, good luck, kid.
Yeah, and if I see another player 864 or whatever, the Squid Game, all of the Squid Game costumes, I'm like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I got a little challenge for them if they come knocking on my door.
Like, there's no candy here. You got to go to Co-op and go get your goodies there.
Go get your stuff.
I mean, we're prepared. Don't get me wrong. We've got a couple individually wrapped plops and keks.
Okay.
And all that kind of thing, which is always tough to find because it's always the normal loose candy that you get by bulk, So it's like always a challenge to actually find something that's individually wrapped, because I'm not just going to hand out loose candy like a weirdo. Oh, don't worry about the razor blades, kid. It's good for you.
Exactly. They can't
put some iron in your diet.
Like halfway sticky candy corn. No, it's we were ready for Halloween, but I safety tested all the candy, so we have to start over again.
Oh man!
But we'll see how it goes there. Part of the weather thing on Friday, I'm doing the winter tire change. I'm doing that little dance.
So what is that? Because the winter tires, do you have like the studs on that are actually in the tire, or do you just have like a different tread?
We have a different tread now.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
But I almost prefer the studded tires, but they're really bad for the roads and bad for the environment, and it kicks up all that. That's why they've started banning it, in different streets in Stockholm.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's several streets that you're not allowed to drive with those, but there's still something kind of weird about just changing, it's the tire from one tread to to a mat.
Well, it's a wider, grooves in it, right? So like once the snow goes in, it doesn't paste over your summer tread.
I don't know.
It's just like the tires for water and all that kind of stuff.
Where it pushes it all faster out.
But I always wondered about that with people with the studs. I'm like, okay, I get it if there is snow on the ground, but what happens if you're just driving over the street? Like that can't it can't give you better traction
No.
because it's metal studs sticking out of your wheel, and it's like it's got to make for an awful ride, right?
Well, you definitely notice the difference when you change back out of them. That's like the biggest thing that you notice is how quiet your ride is all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Because you're going, winter's the next 6 months. So,
or eight.
Right. But yeah, that's the one thing that you notice is with the studded tires is there's that constant hum of it doing whatever it's doing to the road. But when you switch back off, it just gets so quiet. The ride is so quiet.
Yeah.
But there's
now, are you one of these people that goes like full on World Rally Championship and puts the fog lights on the front of your car?
No, that would not be me. that would not be me. Now that might have been something that I would have done like back in '92. But
I always love that. It's like an old Volvo station wagon, and then they put like the rally fog lights on the front, like the set of 4.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not fooling anyone. You're not flying over those hills and doing drift turns and all this stuff.
Or they're giving it away that they actually don't live in the city. That you need extra lights to find your shack.
Exactly.
But our place has they store our tires too. So we used to, for years and years, we used to have them in our, förråd, in our storage space, stack the tires in there. But the place that we have is like a tire hotel. So,
what?
So we set up a time and then we go, they pull our tires out of storage in the back of some place. But it's nice not to have to store them, taking up space in our little förråd.
But is this like a gas station or like an auto mechanic?
No. They actually,
or it's just like purpose built to hold people's tires.
Yeah, it's a tire place, but I'm sure that their specialty is charging everybody for the storage of their tires, which you could save.
Wild.
Yeah, and you could save some money, if you keep them in your living room next to the TV or something. But
you just put like a little piece of particle board on top and it makes a great coffee table. Smells awful in there, but it's durable.
That sounds like some college furniture right there. Be like, hey, didn't you have a table? Where'd the bench go? It's like, I had to change tires.
Exactly. But I have a new seat for you. You just kind of have to lay into it.
Yeah. And boy, your table sure has a lot of grip on the sides. It'd be like.
But with the tire change, 'tis the season too for replacing windshields, right?
Well, as soon as they start like putting the gravel down, as soon as they start putting gravel on the roads, then we are definitely gonna have to.
And I remembered last year, as soon as there was like a warning of snow flurries, all the guys were out there like with the rocks. Oh, let's go! Put all the rocks out.
Yeah. And inevitably, what happens is you feel really lucky when you don't get, a chipped windshield from a flying rock or coming by. But what ends up happening is as soon as you get that replaced or fixed, it's only like a day or two, it feels like, before all of a sudden you get like a ping and the next little chip or crack on your windshield.
I mean, for a country that taxes us so much and has a stellar healthcare and childcare system, you'd think they'd be able to figure out something as simple as salting the road so that people aren't replacing their windshields every month.
And I'm trying to think because that eats up the cars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know. I don't know. I mean,
just resigned yourself to this fact of life.
I give up. Just don't fine me or give me a ticket or anything. I'm fine. But they have a place that pops up. It's like a pop-up place by ICA. And I think it's 3 containers where they put down. And when they open these containers up and put up a banner, it's like a drive-through tire changing. So when you go down to...
Oh, wow. So it's like pit lane.
Yeah. And that thing pops up. Well, it's up now. I saw it when we went to the grocery store yesterday. So those guys...
Sign of the times.
Those guys are open.
Like as soon as they come out, you're just like, oh no.
Yeah, ka-ching.
Oh man. Well, we've been battling our own winter-related issues over here. I've had a kid home sick all week. Oof. All week. And it's like he went to school Monday. He had a cough and he was real raspy.
Yeah.
He sounded like Aquafina or like some old Jewish like grandma, like, oh, how you doing? How you doing? Yada, yada, yada. So, but we were like, oh, come on, let's see. Maybe we'll get a couple days out of this week when he can be at school before they send him back.
Right.
He gets dropped off at 9 o'clock. By 10:15, I'm getting a phone call. You got to come pick up Dylan. His nose is running. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And it's like, they're like, yeah, he's coughing, but his nose is running a lot, so he can't be here. I'm like, shouldn't it be the coughing that sends him home? Because that's like making projectiles.
Exactly.
Of illness. But no, that's like they only care about the runny nose. And they're like, well, yeah, we have 4 kids at home with fevers with the same symptoms. And I'm like, well, you didn't send them home fast enough, did you?
Just like, is he running? Is he running around the classroom wiping his hands on anybody? What?
I know. Are they like trading boogers? I don't understand this obsession with the runny nose thing and nothing else.
Yeah.
But there he was sitting out there with one of the teachers and one other kid who must have had symptoms because everyone else had gone inside. Yeah. And he's been quarantined outside.
Oh, no.
And here I come. And then, of course, when I go pick him up, I normally have I blend up some frozen fruit for him. And, of course, he looks at me and he's like, juice? I'm like, no, kid. It's not that kind of day. It's 10:30.
Oh, that's right. Because you got him early.
Yeah. And then it's like he's on. Like there was only one day or two because he doesn't sleep well that then he's like tired and like kind of cranky all day. But other than that, he's full speed all the time. And it's just wiping boogers all over his face, but like not slowing down. So you're just like, can I pay one of these teachers extra to just come over to my house, put on the hazmat suit, and then just give me 5 minutes to get some work done?
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. Because then you have to take him outside. You have to take him to the park and burn off energy. But it's cold and disgusting outside, so you don't want to go outside. But he's like, Dad, shoes, let's go. Dad, park. Dad, park. I'm like, oh, my God. And then you get there, and it's the other preschools are in your playgrounds, right? So then you're like trying to quarantine them away from the other schools. And it's like, whatever. It's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late. It's coming to your school next, baby. Yeah. Get ready.
And you guys just have Dylan. I mean, just have. Not just have, but I mean, you have a child. You can imagine, tag teaming, when you guys have your other 5 kids.
Yeah. No, once they start outnumbering you, then you got a problem. You got big problems.
Yeah, because that's also one of those things when you have whatever you have just keeps on jumping from like family member to family member.
Yeah, it mutates just enough to reinfect the first person again. You're just like, oh, God, yeah. And it's like they have VAB days, VAB days.
Exactly.
Here. I don't really know how to make them work. I don't have time to figure it out either because I have Dylan hanging from my earlobes. But then it's like, what am I going to do? Do a VAB day for 3 months? Because that's basically what it's going to be.
That would be I guess you. And you could actually start teaching Dylan. Maybe he could become an assistant for you. I mean, 3 months, you could get him trained in to be, maybe helping you around.
I've got him counting to 10 in 2 languages. Okay. So baby steps.
There you go.
I wouldn't let him loose on the accounting just yet.
No, not up to 10.
We're getting close.
If you could start adding some zeros to the end of that, then you could have him help with the invoicing.
Yeah. No, Dylan, just add more zeros to everything. Yeah. Keep going. More.
No. Hey, you have a blue SL card, right? Your transit card?
Somewhere. I haven't used it honestly since COVID started.
Okay. Like most places, Stockholm, Sweden has a SL card, a little blue card,
Metro card
that you use for commuting. They have now introduced a green card. That's like the
Green.
Yeah, it's like the next generation of the transit card. So I got a message and it said, we're going to be introducing this new card. You can get your free card if you go in, and I clicked a button and went in and I got the card like 2 days later.
What makes it new?
They're transitioning from the blue cards to this new, I guess, higher tech green card.
Is it like 5G? Did it get the vaccine or something? It got that chip?
It's a nice shade. Yeah, it's a nice shade of green, but so I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be the first one out of the gate on this. I press the button, I get my card 2 days later, I go in, I'm thinking I'm going to get this thing started, so I'm ready to go. You cannot charge it. They're like, their functionality. Yeah. The functionality they've decided they're going to be adding, over the next couple months. So things that you will eventually be able to do, you can't do right now, like charging, like putting money onto the actual card.
Oh my God.
So I go in and I'm thinking, hey, I'll put, my usual amount of money on the card, so I have it ready for my trips. But I couldn't get it to work. And then it said, well, you can buy separate trips, individual trips. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I just buy 4 trips and, I'll use them when I need them. Mm-hmm. So I load the card, I click the button, and all of a sudden a little countdown timer comes up. And it's like, and it was like, okay, you have an hour and a half to use your you have an,
oh my God.
You have an hour and a half to use your 4 tickets. And I was like,
now, yeah, because so first of all, I love everything about that. Yeah. I would totally walk right into that trap myself. But it's you probably, with all the train delays, you can't rely on just buying that single one-way ticket, right? Because the train could be so slow that once you get to Central Station,
the time could be run out.
The time's done.
Yeah.
But man, I haven't used SL card. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I used it. I just used the app on my phone.
Well, and the thing about it is, right now, if you use this green card, you have to like scan this barcode on it in order to purchase a ticket, and it gets transferred onto the card. And I'm sitting there going, well, if I have my mobile phone out to charge the card,
yeah, right.
Why don't I just use Why don't I just use my phone?
I know.
And now you could just use an ATM card.
Yeah. And that's what Hanata does all the time.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing, so.
Yeah. And then you actually get to use a contactless feature with your debit card.
Right.
You don't have to then contactless it and then push the green button to say, yes, the transaction can go through. It's not contactless.
No. I caught this guy. On my way home from work on last Wednesday. As I'm approaching the train station, I see this guy kind of hanging out, like kind of suspiciously hanging out, by the little gate area thing.
Okay.
So I knew as soon as I saw him. I was like, what he's waiting to do is to time so that he can
to jump in behind someone.
Exactly.
Oh, I hate that.
So he is waiting for a chance, and nobody was coming. It was just me and this other older lady were both approaching at the same time. And I saw his, he kind of perked up a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, he's going to try and jam through as soon as one of us does our ticket. So what I do is I pull out my card and I start going towards the little gated thing, and I feel him start approaching. And then I just stop in my tracks and I start looking at my watch. And then I look up at the train schedule and I look down at my watch, and he's standing behind me, kind of waiting for me. So I step back. I'm like, oh no, you go ahead. And it
Nice.
completely threw him. So he snuck through with the other lady that was also going through. But that stuff drives me crazy.
I know, like with the teenagers, I see it all the time where they like jump the turnstiles or
Right.
whatever it is. You're going to have that everywhere. But like fully grown adults,
Yeah.
like, bro, just it's €3.50.
Yeah.
Like, get it together.
Yeah. Well, and not that it makes it any better or any worse, but when you're paying,
It's always dudes too.
but
It's
yeah,
always men.
But when you're paying with your ATM card, like let's say you buy like a monthly card. You know, you did pay the thing. It's all on your card, and it's just there. It's like virtually in your thing. But if you're using your ATM card, it feels almost like you just paid cash to get through.
Yeah.
So that becomes even more personal because that guy behind you or whoever's trying to sneak in behind you.
Yeah, and it like the whole thing is like, don't make me an accomplice to all your problems, right? I have nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know, you should just like go through the door and then like stop. So there's like a millimeter of space between your backpack and where the doors are going to close. Then they'd be really screwed.
Yeah. Well, this guy grabbed onto the like manhandled the glass door.
Jesus. Hey, did I ever tell you the story of when the train in Barcelona tried to eat me?
No, you almost got eaten by a train in Barcelona?
Yes. Similar kind of thing. You know, these doors, especially when you're leaving the station,
right?
Sometimes they have a hiccup. Like when you walk up to them, they're supposed to see you and then open.
Right.
And a lot of these doors in central Stockholm, there's like a few of the gates that are dedicated for one-way traffic, but they're kind of like to the outside.
Yeah.
So most of the time, you can do two-way traffic, which gets a little dicey, especially in like rush hour, right? People are trying to go both ways at once. And sometimes these doors have such schizophrenia that they open when they see you coming, but then they kind of hesitate and they like try to close on your face.
Right.
And I have this fear of one of these days, these doors are going to eat me. And it's born of this time in Barcelona. We were there a few years ago for New Year's. Right. And it's one of these, like, I don't know if you've ever been to London and the Jubilee line, but there's like, I think Paris is the same way. So there's like a big plexiglass wall.
Okay.
Then the train pulls up. So like kind of in Central Station.
Okay.
For the big,
like a
big
double layer.
Yeah. So it's to prevent jumpers.
Okay.
Right? So people can't jump in front of the train and commit suicide and all that stuff. So the plastic door opens and the train door opens and then you're supposed to walk through. And I don't know if it was like we were slow getting on or what, but I'm stepping through the door. Renata's on the train already. And all of a sudden I feel this, and I can't move.
What?
And the doors have got my backpack. And it's like, it's in such a way that like now I'm pinned and I can't move. And I'm like, help me, the train's going to start moving. I'm halfway in this train. Half the people in the train start laughing at me, and Renata comes over. She's trying to pull me out. I'm like, it doesn't work. I'm pulling too. Oh, no. Get the doors. Yeah. And then finally, like the drivers, they have like the alarm that the door is open or whatever. Yeah. But he waited a good 30 seconds, it felt like.
Oh, I'm sure.
Finally be like, oh, hey, idiot, I'll open the door for you.
I'm sure that they were like sitting up, the driver sitting up there.
Look at this moron.
Watch it. Look at this turtle guy with his little backpack
all
shells.
All the signs everywhere saying, do not block doors. Be speedy getting on the train. There's always one.
Yeah, they're like,
there I am inside the train. Help! Yeah. Somebody help me!
Yeah.
Ayuda, por favor.
That's definitely the way to.
Yeah. So now I'm scarred for life. Every time I go up to those doors, I'm like, they're gonna get me. They're gonna get me.
Yeah, it's a scary, freaky trust feeling too. It's.
I don't trust them. The machine is out to get you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's gonna get you.
All right, everyone, that will do it for this week's episode. As always, we want to thank everyone out there in listener land for tuning in. Be sure to hit us up on Instagram to see more stories, more happenings going on around Stockholm and Nynäshamn, of course. And then come back here next time for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.